am Haack, and I am an intuitive coach and energy healer. And in the last video I told you about the whole chakra system, so I was kind of explaining what each chakra does in terms of your life and what kind of areas of your life it influences. And today I want to take it a step further and talk about the first chakra in particular, right? So in this kind of video series, we're going to go through each and every one of the chakras, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about each and every one of these chakras. So the first chakra is the very foundation of our chakra system. It's called Muladhara Chakra in Sanskrit, and Muladhara translates into root support. And root support basically means that it's the roots of a tree, it's the root support that we need in order to kind of work with the whole chakra system. Because if the root is not strong, if the root is not in place and like a strong foundation that we need, all of the other chakras will have a little bit of a problem as well. Because also Muladhara Chakra is the seat of Kundalini Energy, and Kundalini is a very, very, very strong life energy that we have inside, which is not active in, let's say, 90% of the human beings. It's something that can be activated through very intense yoga practice, very intense meditation. It can come sometimes through near-death experiences, it can come through drugs, it can come spontaneously, very seldomly it also happens just like this. But usually it comes through very intense practice that we do, because we kind of start to shift energies in our body, and then the more heat we create, the heat goes down, descends down in the first chakra and through the Muladhara. And this is where Kundalini energy is seated, located, and then Kundalini, once it is awakened, it's a very, very strong force that goes through all of the chakras and kind of starts to awaken all of the chakras. So Muladhara Chakra is your root support. And as I said, since it has Kundalini energy in there as a very, very strong kind of almost like a nuclear power, it holds a great lot of potential. But it also has a very strong pull down towards the earth. Kundalini energy is an energy that wants to ascend, but as long as it is asleep, the energy of the Muladhara Chakra, of the root chakra, has a downward pull. So it's related to the wind Apana. We have different types of winds that circulate through the body in the yogic tradition. And the wind that is associated with Muladhara is Apana. And Apana has a downward pull also, because the root chakra is related to our legs and our feet. It's related to our colon area. So it's kind of elimination from the body. Elimination goes downwards towards the earth, and also since our feet and legs are standing on the ground and we're kind of connected to the earth because of gravity, there is a natural downward pull of the energy. Also, Muladhara Chakra is one of the chakras that only points downwards, down towards the ground. The other chakras have a point that goes out to the front and a point that goes out to the back, but Muladhara, since it has the downward pull and it's kind of the lowest one that we have at the tip of the spine, it goes down towards the ground. So Muladhara is the one that we have to work the strongest with, or the most with, let's say, if we want to work on ascending energies through the chakras. We want to kind of work on becoming lighter. By becoming lighter, we want to lift up energy into the higher spheres of our being and then connect with higher energies and more subtle and more fine energies. And also Muladhara is the strongest because it simply holds the most information. So let's say family conditioning. We all have family conditioning. I know there's many people that say, oh, I love my family, everything is great, everything is amazing. But if you have a deeper look into it, like a really deep look into what is working and what is actually not working, or where this family conditioning, this construct that comes from the family, is actually limiting the person in order to express their absolutely fullest potential, usually something is there. You can always find something. And most of the time, the people that say, I have absolutely nothing with my family, everything is amazing, usually they have the most stuff that is just undercover, it's just hidden. Yeah. So Muladhara is really about unraveling this kind of stuff that we got from our family, unraveling like the secrets of the family, unraveling stuff that has been given to us through the family tree, through generations. There's things that are repeating in our family, in our behavior, in our own selves, that has been handed over to us through generations and generations and generations. It's kind of in our genes, yeah. So if you have a family constellation and you have a look at the family tree, you will kind of feel, oh my goodness, that is the biggest eye-opener there is, because all of a sudden you see that everyone is doing the same thing. It's crazy. It's like everyone thinks they're individual, but so in the end, everyone is doing exactly the same. They have the same type of relationships, they have the same type of illnesses, they have the same type of reactions, they have the same type of struggles, because until you don't realize this is happening and you go and look how you can release, this continues, obviously, right? So the root chakra is very much about finding the key to releasing a lot of these kind of structures and conditionings and kind of simply inhibitions, stuff that limits us in order to express our fullest potential, right? The root chakra is also about where we find our home base. So our home base can be the country where we are from, but our home base can also be somewhere else. So let's say I'm born in Germany and I'm pretty German, and my parents are German as well, but I do not necessarily feel very much at home in Germany, but I feel extremely at home in India. So that means also my soul, which has come a long way, might just have so much more roots in India than it has in Germany, because in this incarnation I came to Germany for whatever kind of reason and learnings I needed to learn there. But I've come a long way and I've been in India several times before, right? So I feel extremely more at home in India because there's a kind of a soul reconnection with that. And that's kind of important to look at as well if you want to find out what gives you a feeling of being at home. Where do you feel really so much yourself that you don't have to think about anything, you don't have to act, you don't have to put on a mask, you don't have to dress yourself in a certain way. You're simply the way you are every single day, and you just feel like you're like a fish in the water. You're just like, this is my water here, this is my ground, right? So this is where I'm strong as well, because whenever you feel at home, you feel super strong. You have this kind of strong energy from the earth coming up inside of you that gives you this kind of internal strength, like, yeah, this is where I am, this is like who I am, and this is my place, and this is my ground, and this is kind of where I hold my ground as well, and this is where I kind of feel like the connection to the earth and to Mother Earth, right? So home can be so many things, and it's kind of finding your tribe as well, connecting to your tribe, finding out what is kind of that drives you, where you can ground yourself. It's connection to nature, it's connection to earth, and it's also finding this internal stability. So where do I find internal stability for myself? Is that in the place where I'm actually right now living, or do I find this kind of inner strength, centering and stability maybe somewhere else? Maybe I go sometimes on holidays and I feel like, wow, I'm like really at ease here, I'm really grounded, and I feel really strong, and I feel relaxed, and I can just be myself. And it doesn't depend on the beautiful hotel you're staying in, let's say. Maybe it's really just the country that you feel like, wow, somehow there's something energetically that really corresponds to me. The color of the root chakra is red, and red is very activating. Red is the color of passion, of fastness, of speediness, of activation, of motivation. And this is what we want to learn from the root chakra. We want to learn to be active. We want to learn to be in our bodies. Root chakra is all about the body as well, feeling the body. We want to learn to be here as a physical being in this life. And this kind of like, yes, I'm here in this life, I have a body, and now let's do something. The development of the root chakra happens more or less in the first years of life. So this is very important. So it's very important how you feel in the first years of life when you're born and when you're kind of received in your family. Because since the root chakra is blocked through fear, it obviously is strengthened through the feeling of safety and security. So whenever you're received in a family that's very well taken care of you, is kind of holding you, so you have this feeling of touch on the body, so you feel your own body, and you're nurtured and you're taken care of, and there's no disruption emotionally for you in how you're being kind of treated. So then the root chakra is going to be really strong. Whenever there's a lack of safety and security, this kind of goes into every area in our lives. It goes into financial matters. We kind of can't get our thing together with finances because somehow we can't find the stable base, and building our own base that gives us safety and security through financial matters, which we need in this material life. Or we might find it difficult to trust people, like lack of trust in people, lack of trust in the future, lack of trust in that I'm always provided for what I need. So all these kind of things can come if there has been a little bit of a disruption in the first years of life according to the feeling of safety and security. So you never know what it is. And sometimes it's really severe things, sometimes it's very, very small things that cause a little trauma, and that still has an influence later on in your life, because then you have an energetic imprint in this chakra, And this energetic imprint keeps attracting the same story again and again to you in different costumes, in different kind of sceneries, but it's producing the same feeling until you understand this is something that I have to learn from, and then you can change it. So when you understand that there's something you need to learn, there's a lesson here, and you need to overcome something, you need to change your behavior in order to change your mindset, this is when change can happen. And this is also when you can kind of start to give yourself the sense of safety and security, and kind of start to use affirmations, let's say, or start to kind of look in your life like, how can I give myself the sense of safety and security? How can I take care of myself so that my body is treated well, that I feel kind of well received, that I feel like I have a right to be here, that I kind of am in the place, that I'm feeling very, very strong and connected to the earth. So this is something we can learn from the first chakra. There is a mantra for the first chakra as well. The mantra is Lam. And for example, you can just use the mantra, internally repeating the mantra Lam, or you kind of do it out loud, and then you have the kind of energy current of the sound going through your body, because the sound is activating the chakra. And especially since we're working with the chakra that also holds Kundalini energy, and Kundalini corresponds to sound. Kundalini is very receptive to sounds and to vibration. So this is something you want to be conscious about, right? So Lam is a very, very strong, deep, deep, deep sound, and you want to kind of drop your voice deep down, and then you start just voicing the sound Lam. That's something you can do for now, and then there's many other techniques that you can apply to work with the root chakra, but that's something I think that's very simple you can use in the beginning, and then also working with the color red, which is very simple by itself as well. Okay, so that's everything about the root chakra for now, and then I see you in the next video for the second one, the sacral chakra, which is all about creativity, sexuality and sensuality, and kind of the flow in life. Okay, bye.